He needs to, again, he needs to chill. He just needs to chill out.
Yeah, he does.
Nah, he's fine. He goes, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
We got a guest calling in a little bit. We're going to talk to Jonas again. Matt introduced me to him on the podcast. I looked it up like 30-ish episodes ago, I think. He's a cool dude. He's like, he knows a lot about moving around in companies because he'll get to a position and then he'll upgrade himself and work for somebody else. So I'm curious to talk about that.
That's the game, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said this on the last time he was on. My boss even
told you to do that.
Yeah, she was like, don't ever work the same place for 5 years or longer than 5 years because you can get a raise somewhere else and do like better work.
Yeah, once I started when I fucking realized like there was like a ceiling in retail stores with my last job, once I realized that, I started telling like all my same people, I'm like, yo, like do it, like get yourself to that level.
Get your training up.
Yeah, and like
experience.
What kind of sucked was like in retail, dude, unless like you go from where like at least in our level, like that's what I always saw is like, yeah, you have like H&M, like bigger stores, and then you have your smaller stores and stuff like that, and like all the smaller stores, like dude, paid dog shit. Like I looked into it too, just out of curiosity. I think I even asked Rich like
what Zoomies pays.
What Zoomies pays is like SMs, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
A store manager makes like $32,000 at Zoomies.
Yeah, dude. No.
Salary.
Yeah, no.
I was like, miss me with that, dude. Fuck that.
I think 48 or 47 was for Vans, like, and it was hourly, not salary, which was nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, so we got OT, all of that bullshit.
I was talking.
You always hit it.
When I was talking to my one buddy who Vans moved out to Atlantic City to manage that store. Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about. He told me that was like $32,000 a year, and back then,
Zoomies.
Yeah, Zoomies. Back then, I didn't even make $30,000 a year yet. I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Yeah. $32,000 is so much money."
Dude, when you're 25, and do it, because most of the Zoomies store managers are fucking young. Like
that was back when I worked at the one credit union.
Yeah, just most like store managers in that realm too. Like actually, it's funny because like at Vans, I was like the youngest for like all the people I knew. Like when I first got promoted, and I was like 27. I don't remember how old I was. Yeah, 2017. Yeah, I was 26, turning 27. But no, you unplugged yourself.
Mm-hmm. I did it to unfurl my cable.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's the move though now. Like, and then it's not. That's the thing though. It's not every company is like that. But yeah, like I told them, I'm like, yeah, do it for a little bit. Just so you have like a year or two like under your belt, and if you want to go to another store, like another company, like a bigger store, which I've also noticed too, like bigger stores, store managers have so much less responsibility than we did, like on a daily basis. Yeah, like they're able to like.
That makes sense, actually.
Because it's such like bigger operations, they have to just be like more clerical and like in the office at all times, and not have to.
That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Have to like pull double duty.
That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Like one of Van's partner companies, well, family companies under the same like bigger company that owned them, their store managers were, when they transferred, like if they were like, oh, let me just do something new, go to Vans, awful. They all sucked. They all sank. Any ASM we hired from that position, from that store, great. Perfect. Yeah, because the ASMs were the ones fumbling everything, whereas like the SM just sat at a desk for most of the day.
It sounds like the classic story of H&M, because Mel worked for H&M for a really long time, and yep. I learned all about that shit. Her store manager, classically, at the store that she ended up at for a while at White Marsh, her store manager did jack shit.
Yeah.
She sat in the office and did whatever the fuck. Clerical, like you said, shit.
Most of them do, because like, again, like it sucks, like especially from like the outside perspective.
All you know is that they're in that office, the door is shut, and you're like, "What the fuck are they even doing in there?" I'm out here running my ass off, doing truck,
but
bringing people up.
Oh shit, where's the? I feel like this, for some reason, mine is like more strong on the edges here.
You gotta just loosen the little nut on the bottom there.
No, I mean like. audio. Like right here is like perfect for me.
Yeah, it is great on the edge.
Weird, yeah.
It's much it's not unlike the pod mic. If you talk into the edge, it's fucking great.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, like I don't know. I'm gonna still use the pod for. I bought that. I actually bought it for myself. I was like, oh yeah, online gaming.
Yeah,
I can just instead of a headset, just use my interface that I already fucking have.
Yeah, Garrett does it.
Yeah, and not like I'm streaming or anything, but it was like it's so much easier to control. And I bought that one because Knox had one, and I recorded vocals with it for the EP and Split I did years ago. And I was like, dude, this thing's fucking sick.
You can't bait these things for pods, though.
No, I was talking to the dude at GC, and he was like, you gotta let me know how it is. I was like, if you're looking for just straight audio, I was like, there's no reason to get an SM7B.
Not at all.
And I was like, another thing is
$400.
just anything with vocals. I was like, are you going to be using it in the studio? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, dude, I don't know about this one in particular because this one has kind of like a built-in compression.
Mm-hmm.
I've noted, like, I don't know if it's actually this thing that you're using or the mic.
Good question.
Because I don't know anything about like anything like portable anymore. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed like when I laugh loud, it like kind of peaks and sounds like it's getting smashed at the same time. So
I think it's this thing because
it might be
the P4 the Zoom thing definitely has like a gate.
Yeah, you can hear it kind of just like hitting its. I mean, it's definitely going to happen with like natural gain input anyway. You can peak anything, but I think these actually like compress, and that has like some kind of compression built in. I don't know.
It sounds fucking great for talking though.
No, yeah, but I'm actually curious. To, I might even try like once I finally write lyrics for this fucking second EP I've been working on for the last
fuck around with
God knows how long. I want to try it just to see. But yeah, that's just probably going to stay up there just mainly for gaming.
Sure.
I went and bought a fucking boom stand that sits on the desk just so I can get rid of my big one that's on the side.
Damn, I would have given you one. I have an extra.
Well, I bought the it's actually I was like that thing's a fucking tank. I don't know if you ever felt how heavy the pod mic is.
Oh, I have, yeah.
Dude, it's fucking heavy as shit. So I was like, no, I need something sturdy. So I bought a fucking the kickstand or the kick drum booms, like the small ones that have the fucking super heavy plates. Still, if you extend that like all the way out, it's still tipping and trying to tip. I'm like, God damn.
These aren't too shabby either, weight wise.
No, it's all down here though.
Because I have the same. I bought two kick drum mic stands to hold the mics up. And same thing.
The way this is set up, though, the weight is here, so it's going to kind of balance here, and it still might try to tip it this way, but I feel like this little thing will help kind of distribute some weight. I don't know.
I suppose.
I might try it. But
what was
I picked this up just so you don't have to, like, it was mainly because you have them, and I was like, well, I have a different mic.
Matt bought one.
Why make you buy bring another one over? Something less for you to think about.
And same with these stands. How great are these fucking stands?
Dude, they're good. Yeah. Fucking 100 for $2, or two of them for 100.
You can't beat that shit. But
these would be like if I had a venue, I'd probably buy these. These are sick.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, H&M. But like I can totally see them paying more too because like Mel was making pretty okay money as a DM. Like not just a district, a department manager.
Yeah.
Like it's a supervisory role, but
yeah, you only have to worry about like men's apparel or whatever in those realms, I think, right?
No, she wasn't a DM. She went for DM, and the one girl, the fuckface manager was like, "You're not ready," and she was like, "Are you dumb? I've been through the corporate training." Like
literally everything.
She at that point she had worked for like 3 or 4 different stores. She knows everything about everything. Like she knows how to like schedule people and like people like working with her. But anyway, that's her story to tell about H&M. But still, like as a supervisor, she was making okay money for a retail store. And then a DM, you get another bump. ASM, you get another bump, and then store manager, I'm sure they made okay money.
Yeah, they what they do too at H&M is like kind of like how she bounced around so much. Like a lot of them do. So there's so many in such like close proximity, and obviously like biggest thing like I can think of is like Columbus was pretty bad about it because you had 3 malls within they're 20 minutes off the highway from each other, like 20, 25 minutes tops. A lot of time what they'll do is like they'll just send you to different stores. Like, oh, you're an associate. Oh, you want to be like a floor supervisor or whatever. We're going to send you to this store. This store makes more money in a year, so that's a promotion. You're going to get maybe 50 cents to $1 a raise depending on your position, just to go there and do that. Vans does that too, in markets that are like more flooded, but I don't know. I think it's kind of dumb.
It's so crazy how, like, especially I found in those businesses that are in malls, they love moving people around.
Sometimes it's for the better. Like, if you're good at your job, sometimes it's like they'll send, like, you're pretty much going on like a mission, like go turn it around.
Yeah.
And it's a good move for the company, and especially if like it's a good move for like learning as well, because you have people who, you know, have shown, oh, you can do XYZ, but can you go fix a mess? And like it's you do learn some skills from that, which is kind of cool. But
interesting.
At the end of the day, it's still like, I don't know, it's not worth the like $1 or maybe if you're fucking lucky, $2 more an hour you're going to get just to be in the same position,
well,
but
travel
take
too.
on so much more. Yeah,
and travel,
and depending on where the fuck you live, like you might make your commute longer.
I know. I have known multiple, like many people who've been with some said company for however long, and they'd be like, "Oh, I drive an hour and a half each way."
Dude. No, I've been doing that for the last like month and a half, going to Mays Landing, and dude, it sucks so bad. Like, thank God, the project manager, it was like cool and was like, dude, like that's a long drive, dude. Like, pay yourself for it. And I was like, all right,
say less,
dude.
Yeah.
So I'll take an extra, like, and we were able to cut our time on site, I think like an hour and a half, depending on the day. So that was cool, but. Dude, it's still
a grind.
Dude, it's draining, dude. It sucks so bad, especially not taking like an open highway the whole time. Oh my god. I hate it.
I have a test coming up, not next week, but the following, for the union I'm applying to, and I'm reading up on what like the test is making me a little nervous because it's very school, but
yeah.
B, ideally, if it works out and I do get accepted into the apprenticeship, I'll be driving an hour to the hall or whatever job site every day.
Yeah, for a while you're gonna probably have to go like to the hall, and you're definitely gonna have to go there. I don't know if Max brought it up when he was here, but like up until not that long ago.
Yeah, same.
He was going I think every Wednesday or like every Tuesday and Thursday, something like that. I think it was either 2 times a week or once a week. He had to go to the hall
my friend
for class because he was still an apprentice.
Yeah, my friend who's a HVAC union guy in Maryland does class, or maybe still does class every Tuesday and Thursday too.
Yeah, I think it depends, but I want to say he was doing it. So yeah, even if you're on like a site, that's what sucks too, is I think you got to, you go work and then you have to go to class like after the fact. Sucks, but
I guess I'll get used to it.
It's again, yeah, it's going to be, your schedule's going to be your schedule, and you're just going to work it in and go, okay, like maybe those will be the 2 days. Oh, I just don't go to the gym those days. Like,
or maybe I do and I go crazy.
Yeah. Pull a mat.
We'll see.
Overload yourself on shit.
It depends on what the scope of work I'm doing too, because I've heard that iron workers it is the most physically demanding job. So if I'm burning a fuck ton of calories, or I'm like physically exhausted by the end of the day, like what's a workout gonna do?
Oh, you're going to, like, especially like even if it's not that much, you've been just stuck in like an office setting for how long now?
Not even just my office. I'm thinking about the banking years too.
Yeah. You haven't had like a move around job. Yeah.
I haven't had an on my feet job since 20. When did the Eagles win the Super Bowl? 18?
2018.
Since then.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, so coming on 6 years ish. No, 5.
Dude, it's funny. Like, I had the golden opportunity to like not have to be on my feet and like doing shit, like install work and everything. If everything went as smoothly as it did, like from September to I think like early September to like late late October, something like that. I was doing a job for a company around here, and it was like a lot of like setting up, but there's so many goddamn rooms. I was walking so goddamn much every day. Oh, San Antonio, Texas is calling me.
That would be Jonas.
Oh, all right, let's bring him on. You want to unmute him there?
Sure.
Oh, I got to turn it on to Bluetooth here.
Yep.
Did we get it?
VTA. Jonas, you hear us?
Hey, what's up, Tom?
Yo,
shit.
what's up, dude?
There we go.
Hey, sorry I'm a little late, guys. My apologies.
All good.
It's all good. We got trapped in a conversation.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we'll include you too. Anyway, Matt is not on the episode today. I don't know if he told you or not, but he's stuck. Well, the way he phrased it was very interesting because the way it read in the text, he said, "Sorry, SRY, gotta go to the beach this weekend. I can't pod." And I was like, "Wait a minute, you have to go to the beach. That's why you're obligated." And then he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I assumed you guys knew it was for drill." And it was like, dude, why would I know that?
All right.
Yeah,
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I could definitely talk to you guys. So I
Yeah.
miss Matt.
He doesn't
That's
strike
for
me
sure.
as somebody that would go to the beach, though.
No.
Anyway.
Well, he might.
And we talked about it a little bit last time, but like
Matt might go to the beach once a year.
maybe.
Once, maybe twice.
Maybe.
You driving somewhere?
What's that?
You driving somewhere, Jonas?
Yeah, I'm going to the Cinco de Mayo thing today, but like I can talk. Obviously, I make time for you guys.
Hell
I can
yeah.
talk.
My
Yeah,
man.
yeah. No.
I was thinking about last time you were on, we were talking about upward mobility and things like moving around companies and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we never really dove into like what you've done before. So like we were just talking about jobs that we've worked before, like running around stores when we worked retail, like a job when we're on our feet. Specifically, like I'm quite possibly making a career change kind of soon if I can get into this union that I applied for. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, I'm straight up trying to drop office work altogether and get a trade like at age 32 practically.
Hey man, it's never too late for sure, man. It's never
Yeah.
too late. It's never too late.
Yeah.
And shit, I got out of retail at 31.
Yeah, but
Yeah. And I have I have a lot of new stuff happening to me, so I can't wait to get into it. I mean, I live in Dallas now. Remember last time we talked? I live in San Antonio.
yeah.
So there's so many new changes in my personal and my career life has changed a lot dramatically.
Damn, that's what you were only on like what 6 months ago, maybe.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So how
yeah.
How so, man?
Yeah.
Get into it.
Yeah, so I took a job offer for a company that's called TMX Finance. Now, you've probably seen, I don't know if you guys heard of that places.
No.
I lost you for a second. I thought you dropped.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
My bad. Yeah, it's a company called TMX Finance.
Mm-hmm.
And so the new position I have now is I'm a senior director of operations.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I was able to lever my skill sets. Now I have a position with power and of course influence. So it's just been a dramatically changed moving from San Antonio. I worked from home for about 6 years, and now I'm in an office now. It's like everything is back to what I used to do. Like it's just mind-boggling for me, like dealing with people now, and
Yeah.
So it's been it's been a blessing for us, me and my wife, to be here in this position, and everything changed. I'm talking about financially, position-wise, and just moving. Like I said last time, moving up with the business, right,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure I do the right moves. So yeah, that's very positive things for us. And like I said, I can't wait for you guys to come here to Dallas. I can take you guys out.
That's awesome. That's very fucking exciting. That rules, dude. Yeah. I can't wait to go to Texas again. I was telling.
I still haven't never been.
That's crazy. I was telling him a couple days ago, like, I love Texas. Like, one of the bands I was in was centered in Houston, so I've been to Texas a lot. I love Texas.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of great stuff. But yeah, ask me any questions. I can't wait to answer you guys' questions. I'm excited.
So, someone who's never been to Texas before, how far is San Antonio from Dallas?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's such a big ass state. My God.
You cannot fathom how big it is.
So is Pennsylvania, though. Like, but yeah,
Texas makes Pennsylvania look like Delaware, dude.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you right
actually.
now. Like, I think I said this on the pod before. On that tour I was on, we played a show in San Antonio, and our next show was in Arizona, not New Mexico, but Arizona. So we packed up the van with all the stuff. We left the moment we could when the show was over, and we like hung out for just a second, settled up, and I drove almost the entire way without stopping, and we got to the show the next day exactly on time.
That's
it was
insane.
It felt like 6. I think with stops it was like 16 hours in the car.
Yeah, that's a long drive.
Like,
that's a long drive.
We went, well, for half of it was through West Texas, and it was overnight, and by the time we got to a good spot to see like Mexico from the highway, it was like the sun was coming up, and that was really cool. So that was nice, but it is unfathomably bigger than everything you're used to out here, especially in the Northeast.
That's for sure. That's for sure. It's such a big state, man. Like, yeah, our friends were crying. We're not crying, but they were like super sad that we were leaving. But I was like, hey guys, we're still in the same state. Yeah, but it's so far from us now.
Yeah,
technically.
I don't think that matters in Texas.
That's
it's so weird. I was like, yeah, I'm still in the same state. I'm not leaving the state yet, but all right.
It's the equivalent of. It's kind of almost the equivalent of you moving to Ohio.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Almost. It's about halfway there.
Jonas, I don't think you know Mikey. Mikey's been on the pod before a lot, and so recently we just straight up were like, hey, you want to just join us and be part of the roster? So Mikey, this is Jonas. Jonas, this is Mikey.
Pleasure.
Mikey, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Definitely nice to meet you, man.
Mikey, he took a job for Vans, managing stores out in Ohio. So he moved from Delaware out there, and then I'll let you tell your story.
Yeah, it was, I don't know what, ASM at Vans, and then there was like nothing locally. Well, there was definitely opportunity locally, but it was like, do I want to go work at like some small mall? Like, do I want to go to like Towson, Maryland? No. So
what a drive.
Yeah. So for some reason, Columbus, Ohio just sounded better. So I just did that. And I just recently, a year, almost, actually, yeah, it's already passed. It was last month was a year moving back to Delaware.
Wild.
And I just did a complete career change. Said goodbye to retail. And what do I do now? I'm
it's a big change, man.
Yeah, AV integrator now.
Oh, wow.
Which is fun.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so
you get to hang TVs and pull cable.
Yeah, if TMX ever opens a new location or something, or if they upgrade, like floor to ceiling upgrade all of their technology systems, they should hire Mikey's company and he'll come out there.
Oh, we definitely have.
For sure, Mike. Yeah, I can definitely keep you in mind for that. Hell yeah, bro.
Definitely have I know we definitely have offices out there. We have offices all over the country.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so there we go. So next time you go to Dallas, I would treat you guys. You guys probably would love stay here. Like, dude, I want to stay here now. It's amazing. It's amazing. I absolutely love it.
I toyed with the idea of moving there when I was in the band. I was like, maybe I would move to Houston or Dallas, because Dallas isn't terribly far from Houston.
Yeah, those are the two cities
No.
that look close on a map, but are probably still also
Well,
6 hours away.
Well, Dallas is called, like, people refer to it as DFW, Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Fort Worth is a half an hour from Dallas.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
actually, I
seriously.
have been to Texas. I was at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport for a layover.
Oh, there you go.
The one time.
Yeah, just like I went
The
to
one time.
Phoenix. It was a layover in Phoenix.
What, Sky Harbor?
Yep.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
So Jonas, before you got into like the quote, like the big boy jobs that you're into now, did you ever start with like some shitty retail job, or did you ever work like in food service or anything like that?
Yeah, so so when I was in college, I was a security guard for 4 years for a company called
Oh.
Allied Barton, and I was doing that while I was in school. I worked third shift there. I worked from 10:30 at night, and I would get out at 6:30 in the morning, and then I would start class at 8 in the morning. So that was like 4 years of my life just struggling, but also working, obviously. But it kind of built my character, right? My
Sure.
work ethic. It kind of helped me out. Like, I always like me working there. I was like, I used to hate it. Honestly, I used to hate the job because I always felt there was no way for me to move up from just being a security guard. Like, what's the next level up, right? Or what can I do? So
Yeah.
I did it for a while, and I worked for restaurants. I worked for Macaroni Grill for one point.
Mm-hmm.
I worked there for like about 6 months, and I worked for I forgot the number. Tyler's Restaurant. I think I mentioned the last time the podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
And that's it. I mean, that's the only jobs I really had as a youngster when I was starting. And then I was 18. When I was 18 years old, that's when I was introduced to corporate environment. I worked for HSBC. They're in Newark, Delaware. Oh, actually, they were in Newcastle at one point. And I started there as a customer service rep. And I will never forget, it was $12.45 an hour. But I was so excited because I was doing something different from security.
that was what year was that, you think? If you're 18 years old.
Man, I was 18. Man, that's probably, I'm trying to think. I'm 38 now. I'm trying to figure out my
20 years ago.
math here.
Yeah.
20 years ago, yep.
Dude, $12.45 an hour in the year 2003. You're like, I'm literally rich.
Dude, I was
Exactly.
2000.
Yeah, I mean,
2008. I was 18. I was making $10 an hour, getting paid every week, and I was like, dude, this is sick. No bills other than like my phone. Like,
yep, that was me too, man. I was like, yo, I got money now. I can do it. And that's when it started. Yeah.
Remind me, Jonas, are you from Delaware too?
Yep. Originally from Delaware. Yep.
So maybe you might have met some kids who did this too. When I was younger, well, when all of us were younger, like some of my friends would get a job canvassing for like either a siding company or some kind of, some kind of like for hire company. And they would like drive around together in cars and they would canvass neighborhoods and go knock on doors and try to get leads and then get sales. And those kids,
Oh,
do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Like-
I do remember
they
that.
were all 16, 17,
Yeah.
making $10 an hour doing that, and then bonus like commission. Yeah.
Or like 12, like they'd make $12 an hour under the table. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was all under the table.
Yeah, dude.
Because technically speaking, your pay, only thing that you got a paycheck for was your commissions.
Your commission. Yep. I do remember that.
Like,
That's awesome. Yeah.
like,
That's
you're
highly
you're bringing
illegal
memories
almost. Is what I feel like.
I was like, yeah, let's bunch of let's hire a bunch of kids. You can't say no to a child or to a kid. Yeah. Yeah.
But under the
Yeah,
table
that's
though
what-
too. That's got to be like tax evasion or something. I don't know. Like,
I have no idea. That's not my
Don't
realm.
forget, I'm Mexican, so my people know a lot about that business, by the way.
They're like, shit, man, I've been working since I was 11. What are you talking about?
I was like, you get a paycheck? I get cash. I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly. No, gosh. Gosh.
So trust me, my people they're built for that. And so, I'm used to that.
It's that built-in work ethic.
oh, speaking.
Yeah, that
Well,
work ethic, man.
speaking of, like, it is Cinco de Mayo. That's it's funny that we have you on today.
I suppose.
I suppose. But I actually just learned on accident because the job I was on, the one dude did like the whitest thing and had to talk to somebody, get a key so we can get into a room. And I've seen this dude around. I've heard him speak to people, like other people on the job site, fluent Spanish. But this dude definitely is not Mexican. I knew that, and he just assumed he was. And he goes, "Oh, I just learned he's from Colombia." And I'm like, "Yeah, I could have told you that. Like, yeah, I knew he was not Mexican." But no, he told me something like the other woman was like, "Oh yeah, like it's technically like the start of like." Independence, is that like what Cinco de Mayo was?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So in Mexico, they celebrate the real Independence Day for us is September 8th.
That's exactly what she said. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I believe they got super Americanized. So the independence of Mexico was, I'm not sure exactly. Look, I'm Mexican. It's embarrassing. I don't even know the history like that. But I just know that the Independence Day, because my mom just told me like, don't celebrate that holiday. Mm-hmm. That's not for us. That's for them. I was like, all right, Mom. Yeah, I got you.
An astute observation, Mom.
Dude, it's today, St. Patrick's Day are like the two holidays that people who are not Irish or
definitely not Mexican.
Definitely not Mexican love to celebrate. And
that is true. That is so true.
I'll posit this theory to both of you. I was thinking about this in the car or a little bit before on the way over here. I think that white people, like specifically like the most waspy white people specifically, treat Cinco de Mayo like basically 4th of July. Instead of fireworks, they wear sombreros and appropriate some other way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of my employees today, they were telling me that. I was like, "Are you doing anything for Cinco de Mayo?" Like, I was like,
"You're like,
yeah,
fuck maybe. No."
I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah," because I forgot to tell you. So one of my buddies from Delaware moved to Dallas, right? Oh. So I gave him an opportunity here to work for us, and he starts next week. So he literally moved everything and sacrificed that and drove here to Texas.
Nice.
Because I told him, like, what I'm trying to build here is huge, and I'm trying to put him in the right spot because he's trying to learn technology as well. And I said, look, now that I'm a director now and I have power and, like I said, influence, I'm trying to use it for the good reason, not for the bad reasons. And also ego checking and be humble, because a lot of my peers now, my colleagues, is that I see them. When you get a position like that, you feel like you're in power of other people, right? And that's not the way you should be. I think that, one thing I told my guys, like, one thing I want to do here is it's to help you develop, right? And hopefully move you up. Whatever you want to be within the technology, let me help you out. Because, I want everybody to have that vision that you could be in my position one day.
Yeah.
And so I told this guy to come here and help. I'm going to help you. Let me guide you. I'm going to help you out. Because I know everything. I know since that, I've done this so many years now that I can help you, guide you, and show you the right way. You also show you the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, if there's anything anybody from Delaware wants to do, it's to get out of Delaware. So it's definitely a win-win for you guys.
It's definitely like a direct pathway out. Fuck yeah.
No, that's an awesome thing to do. Like when I was a store manager, that's what I wanted to do as well. Like I always put my people before me, which fucking sucked in the long run for me. But I think, everybody that worked for me, well, I would hope, and I still talk to some of my old employees, like, had a great time working with me and working for me, and definitely learned a lot and grew a lot. And like, I want to say like 4 of my employees are now store managers, and they all started as like a sales associate or maybe a step or 2 higher. So like, I feel that's like a great thing. Like, yeah. Like being the good. Trying
to help them out and see, and help them develop them. Exactly.
Actually, when I moved out to Columbus, I brought one of my good friends. Like he fell on hard times, couldn't find a job, and I was like, dude, you just want to do something new? And gave him a job at like 13 something an hour. I don't know. This is back when that meant something. Awesome. It's when it meant something to make 13 something an hour, but
that was what, 8 years ago, something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. Like, right, you can't afford. Yeah, you cannot afford anything if you make $13 an hour. Unfortunately, these days, there's nothing you can do, man.
No, dude. Have you seen the price of eggs?
You have to have 2 jobs at minimum with that kind of wage. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty hard, man. And I don't know. It just, it puts you everything in perspective, right? Like, man, like what you need to really work, like what you're working for. Yeah, it's harder now than what it was years ago. I keep telling my parents that,
Oh,
they're
Oh my
like,
god.
back then I was able to buy 2 houses and blah, blah, blah. And like, it's like now I think the average 1 out of 5 people can barely save money, right? It's a different ballgame now.
yeah.
Everything is so expensive. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's crazy. Yeah.
I heard a statistic a couple of years ago, maybe last year, maybe the year before. It was something like 62% of America is living paycheck to paycheck, and something like 70 or higher than that percentage wise is most of America cannot afford an unexpected $400 expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. That's so true.
Like
So true.
I can speak for myself. Like if say like, oh, this happened to me last summer. My AC compressor in my car went out, so I had no air conditioning. And you remember how hot last summer was? Mm-hmm. My AC went
God.
out, and I had an unexpected $1,200 repair. It ruined me for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Dude,
Oh man. So,
I could do it now. Like right now, like I'm fortunate enough that like I had some sick like wage jobs that I was able to put some money away and put some money aside in general. But that would still set me back. Like I'm that money's for other things I'm trying to save. Like I need a house. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to keep
Yeah.
renting the rest of my fucking life. So
exactly, dude. Yeah. Yeah. And also buying a house now is more expensive, man, because
Oh, dude.
it's just it's so weird now. I mean, it's not weird. It's just just the economy. How's everything moving forward? It's just putting a lot of people behind. Like, yeah, me too, man. Like me buying a house right now, it's like I have to put so much money up front, right? And
Yeah,
all the
everybody's
expenses
saying
we
that.
have. Yeah.
Well, there's
I was like,
also, especially like in areas where like why is it so expensive to live in
It's just-
some areas of the country is like beyond me.
The bubble, dude. The bubble's just inflating and inflating and inflating.
Like we were walking through one of the neighborhoods over here, and like all of those houses are like more than $500,000 like plus. And she was like-
Really?
yeah, she was like, "Oh, like which house would you choose?" I was like, "None of these." I
Oh
was like,
my
"For that
God.
much, for that much money, I would want a ranch with like acres of land that
Oh
I could
my
do
God,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck I want." Like I'm not dealing with an HOA at like like if I'm spending $500,000,
You kidding me? No way.
like
no, that's so true, man. That's so true.
it's
I was like-
funny though because that's literally 3 blocks up, and this house sold for like 180,000 when
Yeah.
when it last sold, and
I
like
bet
those
it
houses
did.
are selling for like 600,000.
Jeez.
Like
Yeah.
like I work for a company that does $20 million a year in revenue, and our president and our vice president both live in just $300,000 houses. That was again, that was when they sold, but like our vice president's house is like a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, regular ass little house.
Yeah.
And like even they, like I'm saying, even they don't pay that much money for where they live.
No,
and
yeah.
they live in like 19808 somewhere. Like just a regular
Like Hockessin?
No, 19808 is like
Oh, that's like Marshallton.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Jonas being from what part of Delaware were you from? Northern Delaware?
Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay, so yeah,
Wilmington.
you're from the same place I am. So you remember like when we were coming up, you're a little bit older than me, but like houses in our area were probably sub $150,000 when we were young.
Yeah, yep.
Like I grew up in Willow Run, which is like just west of the city limits, and I'm still in Wilmington, but not well. Houses in my neighborhood when I was in my early 20s were selling for like 180,000 or something like that. Average 179, nothing over 2. And now Willow Run like
I've looked.
Willow Run is like like over 3s.
Like 350.
Yeah.
400.
And-
I've been looking.
These are 3-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, no basement, upstairs and downstairs, like the same like single family shit it's always been. And I'm like, where is this money coming from? Like how can people afford this shit?
Yeah, that's so true. My brother was mentioning that, so yeah, like you said, I'm a little older than you. So when I was a child, I had an uncle that lived in Middletown, right? This is back in the days that it was just
Uh,
nothing but farmlands, corns,
Yup.
and now my brother keeps telling me that when he goes to Middletown now, it just completely changed everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so expensive now. Can you imagine if all of us bought property back in like early 2000s, and it would have been worth so much money now?
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you'd have
Yeah.
that plot of land, and dude, and it's all cookie cutter houses.
Yeah.
Like,
It's all. Yeah.
one of our good friends bought a house there.
McMansions, they call them.
He bought one and immediately had to have all of our friends do side work to like fix so much stuff, like fix the plumbing, fix the electric, it was insane.
Well, those are those like Toll Brothers throw a development together in less than a year of all these houses with shitty parts, like cheap wood and all that stuff you always hear.
Yep.
And they're selling for God knows how much money now. Like a house in Middletown is in the sixes too. I gotta imagine.
Yeah. How long have you been in Texas?
Since 2018.
Okay, so you haven't been gone that long.
5
but-
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost getting close there. Yeah, like we were about to buy like a house in San Antonio, but in Dallas now we're looking for houses now, and Tom is right. I mean, the one we were looking at was $700,000, and we saw a couple years ago it was worth like 300.
Oh my
So-
God.
I was like, man, one thing I have a big family, right? Well, my wife has a big family, I should say, and I'm trying to have a big place so we can party outside, have fun, but with limited neighbors, right? Because in Texas,
Yeah.
a lot of houses are kind of close to each other, and I don't like that. I was like, I want some space. I need some land too, so
That's
we
my
can
big
have fun
thing.
out there. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, we need land. And
dude.
of course, I'm expecting my new baby, so I was like, I need a bigger place for my child.
Hell yeah, brother! Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, especially in
Thank you, man.
Texas, though, dude. You need land.
Yeah. Kind of.
That's the fun. That's
the
where
idea.
you have fun. Yeah, you need land.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. I mean, hopefully it works out for us. We're not buying the house. That's like, I told my wife, hell no. I don't care how much money I make. I'm not, I'm not gonna put half of or a quarter of my salary into the mortgage. It's insane. We need to buy everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my point. Was like, even if I had the money to like buy a house at like one of those houses 3 blocks up, like you're out of your mind. Like I could get so much more for that money somewhere else.
So move to Dallas. Move to Texas.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. If this union stuff doesn't work out, I might have to come calling with because I've got the chops financially. I just don't like. I'm just in a different place with this company I'm in now. So I don't know. Maybe someday.
If it doesn't work out, I will hire both of you guys. I can guarantee you that.
Hey, I do love Texas, and
I literally moved home for family and friends, so I'm gonna stick it out for a little bit. Because, dude, literally when I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 months into my new job, my buddy who works for the military is in Greece on like on a job, and he literally offered me, it would be a government contract, and it was like 3 times what I'm making. It'll pay for me to go to Greece and all that. I'm like, dude, that sounds
That's
so
so-
sick, but like,
that's such a
sick.
shift.
and
though.
it sounded like such like less than what I do now. And I'm like, dude, I literally moved back home like for family and all of that. Like I can't just say, oh well, I was here for a couple months. I'm going to Greece.
See you guys.
That would be sick though.
See you in Mykonos.
Yeah. That would be really sick, by the way. That would be really sick.
Yeah, I have never been to Europe, and I always wanted to, and especially like Mediterranean area. I definitely want to go there, and like even like Eastern Europe, like that. Just anything in like the Mediterranean, Black Sea, like that whole area.
I would love to see it someday,
Yeah,
especially an old country like Greece.
where all the good food is.
Well, not just that.
Yeah.
Like people who like Jonas. You've been out of America? I'm sure.
Yeah, I have.
Like you've been to? Have you been over the ocean?
I've been to Spain. I've been to.
That's
I
another
went
one.
to Japan. I've been to Japan when I was 18 years old. When I graduated high school, I was there for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's sick. That's a
yeah,
good trip. Yeah.
that was a great trip. A lot, big eye opener. And I was like, man, like if the United States could be a little bit like Japan, oh man, we'd be like the most powerful nation in the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, those guys, they're disciplined people. They're clean. Oh my God, it's just everything. It's crazy down there.
My dad travels for work, and Japan is one of his favorite countries to go to because of
that's
stuff
awesome,
like that.
That's awesome.
What was I about to say? I forget. Damn it.
You lost it.
It's totally gone. It's 100% out of my brain, whatever it was.
Well, it'll come back eventually.
Yeah. Oh, maybe this. Oh, that was it. Okay.
There you go.
When you go to other countries like that, you realize how young America is as a country. America's been a country for 350 years or something like that total.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Total, yeah.
And you can go to even in like England or something, you can go to a bar that's been around since the year 1000 or something.
Yeah.
Or in other countries, like you said, like Greece, my one friend Julia is in Rome right now, like looking at the Colosseum and shit that's existed and been built, like a country who's been somewhere for thousands and thousands of years.
That's my favorite thing about like the Northeast, like especially like I'll be in Boston next week for work, but
one of the oldest cities in the country.
Yeah, and like that was my favorite thing about that city when I first went there was like everything was so old and like historic. Not everything, but there's still a lot of that stuff freestanding, and like Philadelphia has it too, but it's growing up there and still living in the area, like it gets old.
It's only the age of a city like Philly is only apparent in some places. Like some apartment buildings are left like that, and some bars have the old stuff, like a lot, some old architecture in there. It's not the same.
It's
not even close.
As old as Europe.
It's not even close.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, you kind of the history there, the culture, it's such embedded there. But man, you're right.
Are there still like this is going to be the most ignorant East Coast thing to say from someone who's never been to Texas. There's still like old time saloons out there. Is that like the historic stuff of Texas? We got some saloons.
No, you're on the left. That's a good question. So I live down there. So where I live at, it's called Carrollton, right? And so Carrollton is an old town, Texas. So I live in downtown, right? So when you get out downtown, it looks like a movie set, kind of. Because there's like old school stores, like it looks like Mike said, like a saloon. There's like a
old
bar
village
there.
Area. That's kind of sick.
Yeah, like an old village. Yeah. So it's kind of weird. Like you walk at night, there's like folk music, there's like country music. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. This is pretty dope.
Oh, speaking of that, dude, my mom's neighborhood, like couple blocks up. I was when I was watching the dog for a week, and I was walking around. Bunch of side streets I never went on. Like there's like a bunch of small ones, and they still have the one street still has the like random locations, the old horse posts.
Oh,
where you tie up your horse. I was
that's
like,
old.
yo, there was
that's
like one
dope.
or two, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like that, this is still here. And I was like, it's brand new sidewalk, asphalt, all that, but they left that
dope.
the one thing. I'm like, huh.
I guess they drew the line. They're like, nah, keep the horse post.
What's like some places in Newcastle, like old Newcastle, you'll see like an open lot, but like a set of stairs. Historical, like whatever they are, won't let them take the stairs away.
Yeah. Dude, I love old old Newcastle was my favorite spot in Delaware for me.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Before I moved, I was like, I was right off of 141. Like old Newcastle, we could walk there in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know why. I love that area. There's a restaurant called there, Jacobs or Jessup's.
Jessup's.
That's my favorite. Yeah, I love that freaking restaurant.
There's also that oh my god, it's like a Viking bar or like something like that. That's down there too. I don't know. I think it's next to Jessup's actually.
I bet.
I was going to say, wait a minute. Yeah, it's probably Jessup's. Yeah, it's like old school. It looks like a Pirates, like old school Pirates over there.
Oh, is that Jessup's then? Is Jessup's the old school pirate? Oh yeah, then that's the place I'm thinking of then. There was another bar next to that spot though too.
Oh, okay, okay.
Well, Jonas,
yeah.
someday you can retire to Old Newcastle. You can come back.
Yeah, I know, right? That's a maybe, man. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I like going there.
Those houses will be like $2 million by that time. I don't know.
If the bubble bursts, who knows?
I know, right? You got to burst soon.
My dad is in Smyrna, and I like this. This is gonna be the real estate episode. My dad's in Smyrna, and he's like, dude, the same thing that happened to Middletown is slowly happening to Smyrna too. So like, just because like we were a few weeks ago, my dad and I were having like high level father son conversation. Like this is the kind of stuff we got to talk about before I die someday. He's like, do you think you'll want like the house that I grew up in? Because like not that you'd stay in Smyrna forever, but like someday this property is going to be worth a lot of money. So it'd be
wow.
Would you rather me keep it in the family with you, or do you want to do like high level father son talk, like that kind of stuff? And I was like, I don't know, man. I know for a fact I would never want to live in friggin' Smyrna, that's for sure. But
yeah, you're away from everything, man.
No way.
I know. What do you have next to you? Dover? That's it? And the beaches? Yeah.
You're going the wrong direction, brother. the biggest thing near you is like even remotely close would be like Newark, and even then I'm like I'm already 12 minutes from Newark. I don't need more Newark.
No, you don't.
Yeah, right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
We'll go there every now and again, Newark, and I'm like, dude, I'm not 18 anymore. This place sucks. Like,
yeah, sorry guys. I'm getting close to the bar. My bad.
no, all good.
All good. I was gonna say this is a pretty good spot to wrap it up at.
What's that?
I said I was gonna say this is a pretty okay spot to wrap it up at. We can let you go.
Oh, okay. I mean, I appreciate you guys. Definitely taking my time and speaking with you guys.
I'm glad we got
Mike. Speaking with Mike and you, man.
No, it's always a pleasure talking to you, man. I love your insight. I love hearing about the stuff that you're up to, and like, it's nice to catch up and stuff. I'm glad that you and your family are making moves, and like you got a cool spot. So I'm happy to talk to you.
I appreciate it. Like I said, you guys are always welcome at my place, man.
Yeah, we're gonna take you up on it too, man.
You have to, man.
Have a good weekend and stuff, and we'll get up with you really soon.
All right, guys. Well, it was a privilege and a pleasure talking to you guys.
Sure.
I hope you guys talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll give Matt your love too. We'll talk soon.
All right, bro. All right, guys.
Later, man. Thanks.
Later.
Guys. Yeah, no problem. Yep.
Man, he fucking rules. I love having Jonas on.
Dude, he is sick. It'd be sick to hang with him in person.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm gonna take him up on that offer to go to Texas too.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never been to Texas, and it'd definitely be like an awesome experience to go and like not have to worry about like hotel.
Not at
like
all.
Just have a place to kick it and like hang with everybody. Somebody that's been there for what?
A local.
6 years now. He's been there. 2008.
Like yeah, 5.
5 years. Oh yeah, it would have been 6 years for me because I moved on to 2017.
Yeah, well, before we end for the day, like, what kind of, like, I talked about my shit. What kind of new shit do you have coming up?
I touched on it a little bit, and I told you obviously off air. I'm going to be going to Boston next week for work. That was a spontaneous kind of thing, but it's kind of cool. The company that I did like that really big thing for, I also told a small story about that too. Back in September. So what I was doing was like a bunch of like configurations with a bunch of computers, getting like proxy settings for the company, like their settings, like they have like provisioning software and all of this, and got 105 of those rooms we did, and we did it in like a couple weeks, getting them all like set up, ready to go, getting the cameras ready to go, the all the other like things that are going involved with it. So I was the first one outside of the UK. Like our UK team did some, and we had like maybe 1 or 2 rooms we did for this company, like throughout the States. And ever since our deployment, like it's been like this is a big client. I'm not going to drop the name, but global client.
Are you talking about the one that you were at today that's close by?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I was like the person from my shop that got elected to like kind of site supervising, but it was like kind of like field engineering and like a little bit more than like what our field engineers do. And I learned that from other deployments that we had in like Maryland and up near Boston and like New England as well, that like this is not something that like in my company like our field engineers are used to doing. There's only been like 3 that like got the like, okay, I got it. So the only reason I know is because I fought with these things like tooth and nail. Like I got like a guide from the company that we're doing it for, like how they want things done. And it was kind of written like, which it makes sense. It was written as in like, you've done this before. Cool. Like these are just the steps to take.
Bullet points.
So I took that guide and like did whatever I could, did a bunch of things I could in the shop, whatever. Made my own guide because I had to teach the on-site service team that's there, like how to teach them how to do everything. So like I built a guide for them and I've been using that to like assist remotely other offices and all that. Anyway, long story short, we got a deployment in Boston that's like 96 rooms coming up, and they were looking for help, and apparently I was like specifically called out for it because
you were
I've
requested,
done so many of them. I'm assuming I called out for it because what's really sick, and the only reason I said yes to doing it was there's 2 reasons. Our boy Taylor was supposed to go, and so I was like, fuck it. If you're going, I'm going. I'm not even going to fucking question it. Like, I know it's only like a couple days advance. Hey, you're going to Boston, but whatever. Boston's a cool city, and it would be cool to like go with you and like hang. And me and him have worked for this company for a year. Me and him have never been on a job together.
All this time?
All this time. I only have seen
That's
him.
so goofy.
I've only seen him in the office. Like when we're like, I'm there like doing something with rack work and he decides to pop in and just not sit at home to like work on like DSPs and stuff like that. So, but no, like the PM for the specific one in Wilmington that I did that was pretty successful, told us that like our old, like the dude who was like the head of our office who got like a promotion, asked him, he was like, well, why don't we just promote Mike to be like the service like engineer like for that company who can, you know, be at the ready to assist anybody, because like your projects are going really well, but the other ones, other PMs are kind of like falling apart. He was like, so like the light's on you to him. He's like, why don't we just have Mike do that and just backfill? And he's like, well, you know, like we don't have any techs to replace me, like, pretty much. But I don't know. That's like a lot of responsibility. But anyway, I said yes to it just as like all right, if I can,
A preemptive yes.
if I can go up there and like get this shit rolling, you know, it's another good mark.
Yeah, if
on
you
my resume for the company.
If you shine at this big job in Boston, you'll be like, look at this shit.
Yeah,
like the results are there.
Yeah, like Taylor's boss, who's Taylor does what I would like to do. He's a field engineer. Almost all of our departments, positions kind of have different bosses now. They kind of like have like a regional boss. He already like apparently wants me to move over to the FE side. Yeah. So like he's already batting for me. But it was like cool to hear like our like old head boss, who's like now he oversees the project managers, have him like hear him say like, well, why don't we just send Mike? Like, why don't we just do that?
That is nice. It's
so it's
affirming.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm doing something good, which is awesome, but yeah, we'll see. Oh, also why Taylor's not going was because his boss said, he's like, oh, well, since Mike's going, we don't need you anymore. So
you're like, well,
because he's like the our FE from our office that gets sent on like 911s. He got to go to Bermuda on a 911.
What's a 911? Is that just like an emergency?
Like,
we need you now.
We need to get this fixed and up and running now.
Gotcha.
Like it needs to go. Like they sent him and he fixed it, and like he worked. I want to say like worked for like 16 hours straight, and then was like, cool, I could go home or just hang out in Bermuda. Like, so he like
twist my arm. Shit.
He did that in Florida. He got sent to Florida. Was literally there. I want to say like 12 hours straight, and was like, I'm done. Like, and he booked a flight for like 3 days. He's like, I'm fucking coming home. So
nice.
No, but it's cool.
That's exciting shit, dude. That's cool.
Yeah.
And this completely left my mind until right now. Like this morning at work, my boy Edward, who just started with us in February in accounting, got moved over to the sprinkler department because our sprinkler admin of 9 years accepted a job somewhere else.
Oh yeah. You were you were telling me about this.
So like, if I wasn't about to try this union shit, I would have went for that position to either try and get out of accounting or make more money, or also both. And Joe, the sprinkler department manager, he's like been in the construction industry forever and ever and ever. Like, he knows a lot about a lot of shit, and he doesn't get along with finance people notoriously because we're very by the book, and he's very like, we'll work on it. Like, or if something's wrong with a customer, he's one of those like, let me talk to him. He's an old school kind of construction guy, but I've always been able to get a read on Joe because I understand those kind of people. And
whereas most people in an office setting
specifically the accounting department, they're very like, we need this, like, to the letter, by the book, Excel spreadsheet.
The book says this. We got to do this. The book says
the payment terms are this. The customer is this late. Make it happen. Like, or the customer is disputing this. Make it work. And Joe's like, well, we got all this other shit right. Anyway. Like, Joe asked me out of we always what's up each other when we see each other. He's like, I think I might be the one finance person he likes because I can walk in both worlds. Yeah. Like, on a person to person level. Yeah. When I got employee of the month a couple months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
In October, he's one of the people who put my name in the hat, because your manager can put your name in the hat to get employee of the month, but it has to be like, you have to be signed off on by another department's manager too. Oh. Because obviously it has to be unbiased.
That's very true.
And like democratic, if you will. So he's one of the people who took up for me to get it. And he's like, he told me person to person, as he does. He was like, I like the way you deal with people. Like you obviously you work very hard, but yada, yada, yada. So fast forward to this morning, short story long. He was like, the position in sprinkler, like, did you ever consider like a move like that? And I was like, oh, I 100% did.
Yeah. Like,
I would absolutely have made that move had like stuff like been different. And he was like, oh, I never would have guessed that about you. And I was like, no, yeah, like I definitely want to do something else eventually, and I'm open to all kinds of things. And then we were like, we were walking in two different directions, and he was like, well, keep your mind open. And I was like, oh, did he just drop a hint at me or something? Like, but anyway, it was nice to hear that, because
he could have been batting for you to, yeah.
Right. So
that just dawned on me, like, oh shit, he was pushing for it.
Right. So down the line, like, if a couple things don't work out, if in a parallel universe, I could very well be presented with a position in sprinkler, which I would 1000% take. Yeah. They make more money. It's not just Excel spreadsheets every fucking day.
Yeah.
I love,
couldn't do that.
I love using them as a tool, but if I have to look at those grid lines for the rest of my life, I'm going to fucking go nuts. So
I only like doing Excel, like, to make my life easier, I guess.
It truly does.
I did it a lot. Like, I wasn't doing it every day, but I used to like teach myself like formulas and how to do things and
cheat codes.
Did a little bit on the last job I did for that other company. Like, I'm the one that came up with like the commissioning sheet. Like, I took what we had that the UK gave me, and I'm like, this is shit. And I just like
you nerfed it.
Yeah, kind of like added. No, I just took it, and I like it sucked, because like the whole time I'm looking at the design, I'm like, oh, I fucking hate this. I hate how it looks. I want to change it, but
Excel does that, man. Excel is good.
I was very I don't know why I always liked blue, like using blue in spreadsheets for some reason. Like as far as like, oh well, I'm gonna put this part blue. It's
Excel,
like date, time, what you know what I mean? Like
I can probably explain it. Excel defaults to white and green, and blue looks great on that screen.
yeah, it does. Like I'd always use like the kind of more like the lighter shade was like a baby blue. Oh, dude, I would use the shit out of that, and orange. I used orange a lot too.
There's gradient.
I'm a big color coder.
There's gradient number 2, 20% blue is what you're talking about.
The kind of like powder baby blue
There's
one.
10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50, and then or whatever the fuck.
I don't know.
I actually don't remember. I'm talking to my ass. But
Dude, all I know is that to your point too, like they're like, oh, well, keep your mind open. Like it's always great to like know like, oh shit, like someone's batting for me to get like
it's
another
very
position.
affirming.
But it's very affirming, but it's also just like it's like motherfucker, like depending on the company, like you can actually shoot yourself in the fucking foot because it's like, did anyone talk to me about like if that's where I want it to move, like I don't like move into my career direction. So like if it does get brought to you, depending on the company, you can be like, oh, you know, like I really appreciate it. I that's a great opportunity, but unfortunately, like this is where it's not the direction I see myself going. When something that you are interested in comes up, they're probably like, oh, well, you know, like they're not someone who's ready for change, or like that depends on the company, depends on like the manager and all of that too. But that happened to me a while ago, and kind of wish I never got to really talk about it, but I'm also glad I didn't, because it would have been 2020 and I would have been stuck in Virginia at that time. Like, so by myself, like 100% by myself. I don't know one in Virginia. I mean, at least I only would have been a couple hours from like, what? Virginia's 3-4 hours from here?
Depending on where. Richmond is 4 on the outside.
Like McLean. How far is that?
Don't know.
It's like Tyson's Corner was the mall.
Oh, it's not that far.
Yeah.
It's 3.5, 4 tops.
Oh yeah, so I just probably would have come home. Honestly.
No, we're fucking ripping and roaring today.
Yeah.
What do you say? You want to wrap up there?
Yeah, it's a good spot.
I'm good with this. Thanks for your services _podcast on Instagram.
Right.
Link in bio to find all of our shit.
Hey Matt, anything to plug?
Great. Thank you. Thank you for your services at Gmail. Send us an email. Your is spelled UR. And yeah, follow us on shit.
Oh, I got one thing. You know our number. You don't have to say our numbers like that. But do you think much of our listeners use Reddit?
I don't know. Maybe.
I was thinking about just trying to like starting a Reddit like user page, and then trying to find like some threads to like have people share their stories and me. You know,
that is
read some crazy retail stories or like service industry stories.
You might be onto something with that.
Yeah, I've had it since day one when you guys said, "Hey, you want to be on the show?" I'm like, "Well, that'd be kind of cool."
You know what? I'll go on record as 50% of the impetus of this show. You should, we
should do that
as a show. Should absolutely do that. So keep your eyes open. Maybe you'll see us on fucking Reddit soon.
All right.
All right. Bye, everybody. See ya.
Later.